Hi, my name is Sally, and in honor of Incompetent Cervix Awareness Day, I was asked by the Sweet Mama if I'd be willing to share mine and my son's story and experience with this. I'm so honored to do so. So I also wanted to thank her for shedding light on this and giving us space to be able to do that. So thank you. I found out I was pregnant in November of 2019 after 2 years of trying and no success, negative after negative. We were so excited. We had just moved home to Florida. My husband just got out of the Marine Corps, and we were so excited for this new chapter, and it was finally happening, and we were just so excited. I had all the normal pregnancy symptoms. I was exhausted. I was starving. I was getting used to all the new feelings of being a first-time pregnant woman, and just everything was normal and routine until I was about 14 weeks pregnant. I woke up to a pretty severe bleed that sent me to the ER. So we went and they did an ultrasound and everything was normal. Baby was great. Cervix was closed. Cervix was measuring normal. Everything was normal. I just bled and I didn't know why, so I was safe and free to go home. So I did. A couple weeks later, I went to another doctor's appointment. I was 17 weeks at this time. They did another ultrasound and baby looked great. He even looked like he was waving, "Hi, Mom," the doctor had commented. The cervix was closed, measuring great again. Baby looked great. It was a really good, calming, reassuring appointment. And we left with our 20-week anatomy scan appointment, the big 20-week one that everybody's so excited for. Our gender reveal party was in the works. We were planning for that. Everything was normal until it was February 14th, 2020 now. I started to spot a bit. It was nothing alarming, just shocking. Wasn't anything crazy. I wasn't in any pain. And I remember they told me that some spotting would be normal as long as it wasn't anything crazy or accompanied by any pain, and it wasn't. So I figured I would give it a day. The next day, I started to spot a bit more. Still wasn't anything scary. Still wasn't in any pain. So just to ease our minds, we went to the hospital just to have it checked, just to ease our minds. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And so we got there, and once they realized I was 19 weeks and 5 days now, they brought me to the labor and delivery floor. I did an ultrasound. Tech didn't say anything. And the nurse came in and said that she was advised by the doctor to physically check me. So she did, and she told me that I was 1 centimeter dilated, which I was completely shocked because I wasn't in any pain. I had a bit of pressure, but nothing scary or alarming. I was completely shocked because I didn't even know you could dilate too early, or that there wouldn't be any pain, because yes, I'm a first-time pregnant woman, but I assumed, and I think it's normal to assume, that dilation would be accompanied by pain, and I wasn't. So I was really shocked. I wasn't scared, I was just shocked. So my doctor came in and she starts telling me about something called an incompetent cervix. And I had never heard about it. I didn't know what it was. Again, didn't know you could dilate too early, nothing. And she was calm. She was pretty positive. and she wanted us to drive to another hospital, which is in Orlando, about an hour away from us, where they can do what she explained to be a cervical stitch or a cerclage, and that they would monitor me and they'd be able to do it, and just, she was very calm, very positive, just calmly go over there, yada yada. So we did. We weren't scared. We were just shocked. So we calmly drove over there. We get to the hospital. It's only about an hour and a half away. By the time I'm seen, it's maybe 2.5 hours now from the first hospital. I explained to him what's going on. They did an ultrasound. Again, the tech doesn't say anything. Of course, she's just quietly, calmly doing her thing. And we go back to the room, and in walks a high-risk OB. And I could tell pretty quickly by the look on his face that something was up. He definitely looked different than my doctor at the other hospital did. He asked to physically check me, and he did. And again, I could quickly tell something was up based on the way he was looking. And he says, okay, I just wanted to confirm what the ultrasound said. Unfortunately, you will not be a candidate for the cerclage because you are fully dilated with no measurable cervix and a bulging bag. And I was like, what? How? Just not that long ago, I'm 1 centimeter with, a very high chance to get the cerclage and everything's going to be fine. And of course, I'm not saying this. I'm just thinking this because I'm shocked. And he goes on to say that the only thing keeping my baby in is my water not breaking, but I'm most likely going to go into labor that night, the next day. And he starts to say that, he'll be too little to survive, yada, yada. I'm not even paying attention at this point. I'm just so in shock and beside myself that he says that they're going to put me on full bed rest for now. So they did. I got transferred up to another floor and admitted, and I'm on full bed rest, and it was working. It was working perfectly. I was in the hospital on bed rest for almost 3 weeks, and everything was stable. Everything was great. Liam was great. He was always healthy. He was active. His heart rate was great. They were worried for infection for me for being dilated for so long, but I didn't get an infection. My blood pressure, my temperature was great. Everything was normal and great and healthy and stable. And, we were positive, and we were just praying, over this pregnancy and this baby, and everything was great. There was no, other than the reason for being there was no extra concern. We were stable, we were fine. We were never worried about his health. It was just, he was healthy, he was perfect. Everything was going smoothly and how they wanted. I had a couple bleeds in the hospital, but they had credited that to being dilated for so long. Until one day, it was March 2nd, that I had a bleed, and we quickly realized that this was something different. And it turned out that I was actually in labor. So I found out I was in labor, and I ended up having him. Liam was born on March 2nd at 6:49 a.m. He weighed 1 pound, 0.8 ounces. He was 11.5 inches long. He was born alive. He was healthy. He was beautiful. He was perfect. He looked just like his daddy. And he was born at 22 weeks and 1 day. And he had been measuring almost 24 weeks in size. And as soon as I had him, they took him away and, tried to perform things on him and tried to sustain him. But even though he was measuring, a week or two bigger, he was still developmentally too small. And that's essentially what it was, is that he was just too small. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what happened. And he was just beautiful and perfect. And, so March 2nd would be his first birthday. And, I wanted to be vulnerable and share, because I know how lonely it can feel. And you do feel alone. You feel like you're the only one. And it's not fair. And why me? And this hasn't happened to anybody else. Or, all those thoughts and feelings. And it's true. It's not fair. And why you? And unfortunately, you aren't alone. But at the same time, you aren't alone. And I just want just one person to really feel that and know that it's so unfortunate and awful and hard and scary, but you aren't alone. You aren't. You really aren't. And I've had many of those dark days where it's just hard. And I know that you know that. It's hard. It's hard and it sucks. But if I can just help one person to really realize you aren't alone, then being vulnerable and sharing, I've done my part. And I wanted to share that so that someone knows that. And in honor of my son and his birthday, and to also say happy birthday to our boy, to our Liam. We love you so much. We miss you. We're so grateful for you. And we always said that you are our physical evidence of hope. So we love you, baby. Happy first birthday. And again, thank you to this sweet mama for shedding light on us and giving us room to speak about this, to let others know that you aren't alone, to share our story. So thank you again.